hive cluster is under attack.
For the swarm.
Hey there, StarCraft fans! It's Falcon Paladin coming at ya with yet another edition of StarCraft Brood War. It's remastered. Today on Fighting Spirit, it's going to be the STC versus Terror. Older game. Been casting a lot of newer games recently from 2024 and 2025, but hey, I figured we'll go back in time to the 1.16 patch. And in the top right, it is the STC. And in the top left, it is Terror, a TVZ here between two players we don't see very much anymore. I looked into STC. I think he stopped playing Brood War back in 2015 or so. But he is streaming StarCraft Evolution these days on his YouTube channel. So you never know where somebody's going to be if you haven't seen them for a while. That is the lesson here today. So a TVZ on Fighting Spirit featuring Terror, an incredibly fun Zerg player, and the STC, an incredibly handsome Terran player, man. Check him out on Liquipedia, dude. All right, so it's going to be a, let's say a hatch first here on Fighting Spirit. Safe, well, fairly safe and economical. It's just going to be a fairly standard barracks expand here from our guy, the STC. Oh, sorry for that bit of a crackle there. My apologies on that one. Terry the Overlord is scouting out to see what's going on. And what is going on, Terry? The answer is nothing yet, but you will see soon enough. Yeah, there we go. Hatch first in at 11 supply. Overlord scouting the right way. This is a pretty good opening. Pretty good opening from Terror. And this beautiful, beautiful StarCraft music. Early game StarCraft music, right? They did design it so the early parts of the track make you feel like you're in the early game. It's kind of calmer. It's ramping up. There's a little bit of suspense to it. Ooh, 2 racks, no gas. Pressure on the play here, but guess who's scouting it? Guess who's getting in here and seeing this stuff? Terry is. He sees the 1 racks building a Marine and doesn't go in there to see the 2nd racks because he's going to die. So he's hoofing it as fast as he can to a position where he cannot be killed by a Marine, which is here, possibly here, but trajectory says, yeah, right around there. Pool on the way, and there's your gas. So we get 2 racks into gas here. Marine doing his best to shoot the Overlord out of the sky, but I mean, this guy has got 200 hit points. Hard to kill, dude. Extremely difficult to take down. I'm curious to see. Probably don't want to see a 3rd base here that soon. Wait, did that drone get in there and see that? I need to know. I must know. Overlord pops in. Drone cruises up. Marine chases the Overlord down, leaving an opening for a drone to get in and scout. Dude, hold on, hold on, hold on. Is this it? Oh, he does get in. He does get in and see the 2 racks. Ah! And he escapes with his life too. Daryl, the drone, you're a hero of the swarm. You get the hat. You get to wear the hat this month, Daryl. Good job, man. Cool. So, excellent job. Sees the 2 racks opening. That is an academy coming in. This is pressure, pressure, pressure build against Terror. How can he handle it? Well, Sunken's 1. Ling's going to help with it as well. Got his gas, speed. Very helpful in situations like these. And it's a 1-baser from the STC. That scout was so all important today. Just ridiculously so. No 3rd base. If he didn't see this, I guess. If you don't see the 2nd base by the Terran, you kind of have to assume it's a 1-base style opening here. So getting a 3rd base is just a bad idea anyway. But sometimes Terrans can be sneaky and build a command center inside their main base. And then float it over later. And then you're like, I was preparing for a 2 racks. And it wasn't a 2 racks. Bummer. Yeah, Zergling just kind of poking, prodding, see how many Marines are out on the map, where they are. Are they coming across the map now? Are they gathering their strength here on this bridge, which is kind of what they're doing. So yeah, 2 racks firing it up. STC now probably going to expand. Yep. Floated up to about 400 minerals. So either his macro was bad, or he was expanding, or both. I mean, it's unlikely, but it would be very funny as Steve the SCV dies after seeing the 3rd hatch here inside the main base for macro purposes. It would be funny, though, if the SCC was like, my macro slipped. I've got 400 minerals. I guess I'll expand now. Nah. This is build. This is a build. This is what he's planning on doing. Stim's coming in. Again, this is a game that is, golly. I'm trying to remember. 1.16 is like 2012? Let me see if I can dig this out real quick. Patch 1.16 on Wikipedia says it was posted 2009. Haha. Well, 1.16 was 2008. Look at these highlights from patch 1.16. In-game chat is now saved in replays. That's so cool. They added the reply feature in chat. /R will send a whisper to a person who most recently whispered you. StarCraft now only uses as much CPU as it needs to run smoothly. What a patch note. Oh, that's hilarious. Fixed an exploit which allowed Zerg players to extend their creep with a drone. What is that? Whoa. I'm curious about that one. If anybody has any information, let me know. Holy Sunkens, Batman. Are you... This isn't crazy Zerg, is it? No, it's a Spire. Well, I mean, I guess you can get a couple Mutalisks, but this is a hefty amount of Sunkens. I'm going to say 4. 4 is probably enough here. But he went all the way up to 6. He didn't leave this one to turn into a spore or something. He went all the way to 6. Holy cabana. Havana cabana. Any sign of a 3rd base down this way? No. Overlords are checking. Checking to see if we can expand down this way because this drone is interested in doing that. Steve the SCV. Well, that's not Steve because Steve is dead. Look at this. SCC is like, I forced a bit of an overreaction here. Oh, no, this one didn't get turned into a sunken. So he did leave this one potentially to become a spore or something. Muta's on the way. Hydroden coming in here, too. This SCV can block if you don't build fast enough. If you don't build it fast enough, it can block. All right. Scouted it. Good enough. Do we want to try to kill this thing now? Well, Mutas are out. See, this is why I like casting older games. You get weird stuff. Like overmaking sunken sometimes. 2 racks into an expansion. The macro is slower than it is now. Without a doubt, the players today are much better than the players back in 2008. And bam, got those turrets, all 3 turrets down. Marines came in position to deal with it, though. And a bunker's being built down here. Medics are splitting off this direction. Wait. Medics, guys. No, yeah, medics on their own. Not that good, it turns out. If he'd sent like 4 Marines down here, what are these guys doing? Why are they move commanding into Sunkens? Get those mutas out of there. He's trying to micro on this side of the map. That's why he lost those Mutalisks. Oh, gosh. Yep, this is a weird game. Weird stuff is happening. He's building a turret over here. The 3rd base is going to get canceled. Terror builds a new 3rd base, 12 o'clock. Medics, not entirely alone, but close enough. There's the canceled 3rd. There's the dead drone. There's a dead overlord, too. But look at all the damage done to the economy back here as well. It's 34 to 27 SCVs. A bunch of SCVs have died. The STC is doing a good job replacing them as they go down, though. Building starports, Mutalisks not being given an upgrade. But there is, in fact, an evolution chamber on the way. So this feels just a lot more haphazard than current TVZ, doesn't it? When I first started casting StarCraft, right before the remaster came out, back in 2015, these are the games I was casting. This is the era of StarCraft that I was casting. So normally I would say killing the 3rd base of your Zerg opponent means you win. that could be entirely accurate here as well. But at the same time, I'm not sure the STC is as big as he should be, considering what kind of an advantage he has. He's got 1 starport. He's 1 starporting into science vessels instead of 2 port. That's how old this game is. That's how old this game is. But how fun. Like, how fun to go back and look at something from a time before the now. Terror saturating his 3rd. He's got 38 drones. He's not going into Hive. He's got Hydralisks. I'm not convinced he's got Lurker Tech yet, though. No, he does. Cool. Lurker Eggs coming in. SCV gets picked off. Scouts the 3rd base. Good information. And then he throws up a scan to see what is up there and says, oh, you took a 3rd base up there. And a ninja 4th base down bottom right from Terror 2. Good golly. All right. Good stuff. Excellent, excellent job. I like it. Terror, he lost his 3rd, but he's not giving up. He is building the 3rd at the top. Building a 4th in the bottom right. Terran's going 1 port science vessel with Irradiate. 1 port. Mutas heavily being invested into with absolutely not a single attack or armor upgrade. Lurkers at the top of the ramp. No Sunkens at the top of the ramp. Drones getting transferred down to the bottom right. Just right past the Terran's front door. Just right past it. It's Lings and it's Mutas and it's a couple Lurkers, but they seem defensive. And finally, there is a Queen's Nest coming in at 11.5 minutes. But yeah, these guys are playing slow. Did we catch an Irradiate? I bet we caught an Irradiate. Yeah, that Science Vessel has a kill. Terran needs to establish a 3rd base here at some point. But the concept of Terrans getting a 3rd base, especially against Protoss, I don't know that was really as big of a thing in 2008. This is almost a 20-year-old game, guys, at this point. I mean, pretty good with 4 Mutalisks, whittling down that Marine count as much as he did. More Marines are being produced all the time. Lurkers on the bridge. Maybe setting up for a Lurker trap here. Is he going to just jump on? If he jumps on this before the tank siege up, he's going for it. He's going for it. Lurkers do burrow in, get some big spines off. The tanks are just kind of sitting in. Dude, I'll die. Modern Terrans would unsiege those tanks immediately and try to run them. For that reason, because they're all dead here, the SDC not pulling it off. 6 kills on that Lurker is not bad here at 12 minutes. 78 to 68 supply. Like I said, Terran player losing the 3rd base down here is usually death in modern StarCraft, but the STC took some damage from the Mutalisks economically, doesn't have a 3rd base of his own. The new 3rd base came up pretty quick, and a 4th base was able to be popped up here too. Maybe even checking for another one at the same time. Terror kind of outclassing the STC here. Still, the 1 port science vessel that's maybe weirding me out more than anything else at this stage of the game. Radiating the Lurkers as much as you can. Okay, Lings jumping in. Lurkers on top of it too. Lurkers are radiated. They don't care. They're jumping in here too. Burrowing as much as on top of these Marines as they can. These guys getting baited into attacking Lurkers. Terrible. Terrible stuff for those guys. 3 kills, 3 kills, 3. They all are exactly have 3 kills except for the one that has 0. Good kill sharing, men. Is he thinking about taking a center? That'd be hilarious. 6 o'clock from Terror. He's basically like, man, you can't get out of your own natural base. Ooh, a lot of Scourge loss there for one connection on a science vessel. That's not nearly enough. Lurkers and Lings popping out. 48 workers plus a Defiler Mound on the way. Not enough. We've got a few tanks in the mix here. The science vessel count is not nearly enough to do this either. This is something that really is freaking Terrans out, isn't it? But look at this. He just keeps jumping Lings and Lurkers on whatever comes out of here from the STC. And it's working. It's really working quite well. Maybe I have to fall back a little bit when the tanks are sieged up. But the science vessel count is 2. It's 2. You're not beating a Zerg player at 15 minutes with 2 science vessels. In fairness, he's got a second starport. He's making a drop ship. This could be interesting from the STC. Drops always add another layer of intrigue to any matchup. If he can get a drop down to like this bottom right base maybe, or this 12 o'clocker. No, Scourge, we're trying to catch another science vessel? Absolutely not. Yeah, this troop movement here from the SDC is just a little dicey. A little bit, not quite where we want it to be. That's okay. Not, you know. That's okay. We'll be fine. Ultralisk Cavern on the way. Science vessel does get picked off. Where are they all gone? No, these ones are like going with the dropship to the bottom right. What the? Well, like I said, a drop to the bottom right might get some work done here. The one siege tank trying to kill like 12 lurkers. Oh boy. Jumping in again. And this time it goes a little bit better for the STC. Where's the drop? Where'd it go? It was the wait, what? The drop get picked off? Oh man, I think Scourge got the drop ship. I was expecting it to not die immediately. Well, alright, that might be it. That might be the one thing that could have dragged the STC back into this game. Was a drop in the bottom right. Maybe killing all 3 of these bases that Terror's trying to set up down here. Oh boy, scan, 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 scan. He's like, oh yeah, so you got that, you got this. He's trying to march down this way, but there is a Nidus, and there is Consume, and there is Dark Swarm. There's another Dark Swarm hiding inside it. Consume, consume. Dark Swarm again. Jump on top of the tank. Great stuff. This base dies from Terror, but it hardly matters. It was canceled. Dark Swarm top of the ramp. Brutal stuff. Dark Swarm top of the ramp. 1 Zergling going to town. He gets the siege tank. Boxer maneuvering inside the Dark Swarm. Okay. I like this. We don't see this maneuver nearly enough. Where, yeah, you think you're invincible inside that Dark Swarm. What if we Boxer maneuver all of these Zerglings? I mean, it doesn't work on burrowed stuff, but he does irradiate the lurkers. Hold on. The STC is getting into this bottom right base. Boxer maneuvering a ton of these drones, too. They evac towards the Nidus. They don't actually get inside the Nidus. The Scourge make no connections there either. Holy crap, the STC is maybe doing it here. Terror's got a bunch of bases otherwise, but this is a great engagement from the STC. Ultralisk, no. Ultras have popped out. Oh no, they've got chitinous plating. Never mind, we saved it. Additionally, a Zergling trying to shut down that 3rd base of the STCs here at 18 minutes. Yeah, Medic's dead, Marine's dead. That guy's got 3 kills. This guy, I didn't know how many kills he had, but he is dead. Okay, so Dark Swarm, Ultras pop out just in the nick of time here. That Nidus helps immensely. The STC almost killed this base, which maybe would have got him into a position where he could win this thing, because it would be a 3-basing Terran versus a 4-basing Zerg. But now it's a 5-basing Zerg. The STC making a push. There are no Sunkens at this 12 o'clock position. Scourge, no. Get on the high ground. Make the Ultras attack you single file. The STC. That Ultra doesn't want to fight this many Marines. He's got 3 attack on him. For all the things that the STC's been a little bit slow about today, his upgrades are looking pretty good nevertheless. Ultra dead. Yeah, that's right. Run. run. The Ultras go for the counterattack into the third base. Really smart move here. He knows he can afford to lose this if he kills this. Incredibly smart stuff. Terror expanding again. Again. Yeah, I think Terror's got a pretty good handle on this one. He's up 30 supply. Well, 20 supply. Oh, the Irradiates are coming in pretty strong here. Not bad. Irradiates. Coming strong. That's a lot of Ling Ultra. I don't know how many Irradiates you need for this. Scourge on top of that while you're otherwise distracted by the Ultralisks. Science Vessel's getting sniped. What a great engagement. Great engagement here. Okay, there you go. Medics on the ramp. Ultras can't get up there unless you micro particularly to attack the medics directly. Terra says, let's end this. Let's attack right on into the natural base. SCV's pulled the body block. They are not doing very well against these Ultras. Bunker trying to help out as well. The Dark Swarm was a little bit late to that party. 4 Ultralisks died during that attack. We got a couple Marines attacking into the 9 o'clock base. Sure, it's not enough to win the game. But they got every single drone on gas, which immediately did get replanted, which is pretty awesome stuff. Third base is rolling from the STC, but Terror's on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 bases. 7 bases right now. It's been fine. Drops have been okay. Attacks across the map. He killed a hatchery, but he's not doing nearly enough damage. Yeah, Speedy Ultras, no attack upgrades. Science Vessels get wiped out. 122 to 112 supply. The STC is producing hard and fast right now, but he's not keeping his Science Vessels alive well enough. He's not keeping his SCVs alive well enough to win this game. He's got some Fire Bats in the mix, and by that I mean there's 1 Fire Bat in this mix. And Nidus down. Alright, well, I mean, that is a moderate help. Overlords flying into a death zone also kind of helps the STC. Not supply blocking Terror, but helping with that. Dropping, thinking about it, Ultras and Lings at this base. No, these guys get caught out. The majority of the army here is maybe thinking about busting this front, but against Ultras and that many Sunkens, it seems like a tough deal. An extremely tough deal. And that's it. GG. Yeah, he recognizes he can't deal with enough of these bases to win the game. So, bam. GG's. Well done. I mean, I thought these Sunkens, there were too many of them here, but it definitely did manage to keep the Terran away from him long enough. He got his third base canceled, but the new third base and the fourth base stayed. Able to defend that quite well. Got into the Defilers with the Ultras. Never gave them an attack one attack upgrade in the entire game. Very funny. And the STC just not quite good enough with the Science Vessels. The Irradiates were good sometimes. They were kind of okay at other times. And that is the result. That's how we do. So that is a GG. Well done by Terror. Probably the best player in this game. But, you know, STC made a game of it. We got to see some weird stuff from a 2008 replay. And that is a victory at the end of the day. Bam. 126,000 points, 155,000 points there. Terror on the lead, outproducing the Terran, getting outkilled by the Terran, but only by 4 total units. Never good. 6 buildings raised on each side, and an outspend of a giant chunk of something like, oh, what is that? 10 plus like 17,000 resources in only 20 minutes. Yeah, great macro from Terror. Great macro from Terror. All right. That was amazing. That was an absolutely great showing. And that's going to be it for me. This has been Falcon Paladin coming at you with yet another edition of StarCraft Brood War Remastered. Go ahead, hit that like button, hit that subscribe. If you like what you saw and what you heard today, you can also catch me on Twitter, Facebook, Patreon, Twitch, Instagram, TikTok, and Blue Sky, all at /Falcon Paladin. And until next time, as always, thank you so much for watching, and you take care of yourself.